me. Oh. It's you. Why are you in my house? Oh, you want me to talk about the Constitution? Fine, but you really didn't need to break into my house. Hold on, let me get some coffee. All right, let's do this. Let me put some music on. The Constitution. The Constitution. What's the deal with the Constitution? What is it? What does it do? And what was this guy's last name? All this and more on today's episode of In the Classroom. Let's start with the earliest known record of law, the Code of Hammurabi. It's way old, like 1755 BC old. Mammoths were still walking around North America. It listed all sorts of laws, restrictions, and punishments, all in an effort to preserve civil tranquility. All right, let's move forward a couple thousand years to 1215 with the signing of the Magna Carta, which dealt a major blow to the unchecked power of the crown at the time. Because before the Magna Carta, if the king wanted something, everyone else's rights be damned, he's getting his way. Speaking of historical documents made to limit the power of the crown, let's talk about the Petition of Right, a document tailor-made for King Charles I. It did things like redressing forced loans, billeting of troops, imposition of martial law, arbitrary arrests, etc., etc. Wow, we're really going on in the English here. Man, I almost feel bad. Nah, psych, I'm Irish, I don't care. Anyways, the English Bill of Rights lists a bunch of positive rights the citizens and/or residents of a constitutional monarchy. It, to this day, serves as a foundational document of English constitutional law. 1 year prior to the English Bill of Rights, this guy named John Locke, no, not the one from Lost, this guy, had some revolutionary ideas regarding the running of a government, like this crazy new concept called separation of powers, which split the aspects of government up in order to limit its power and not to let it become overbearing. John Locke argued that the sovereignty of a nation lies in the individuals and not the rulers. Locke also stated that a political state could form from a social contract among the people, who gave their consent to be governed in order to preserve their lives, liberties, and property. Spoiler alert, the Founding Fathers were a big fan of this guy. And now, the problem child, the Articles of Confederation. I'm gonna be honest with you, this document absolutely sucked. For starters, it made America a loose confederation of independent states that didn't give much power to the central government. If you think of America like a few kids in a trench coat, the head kid is telling the feet kid to go to the movies, while the feet kid is telling the head kid, "Shut up, fart knocker, we're going to the liquor store." The states were free to govern however they wanted, while the central government was left unable to reel them in. Speaking of the central government, they couldn't do much under the Articles of Confederation. For instance, the central government couldn't regulate trade or levy taxes against its people, meaning they had basically no money. Congress couldn't get the state governments to bend at the knee, meaning Congress was basically useless, and the whole government was so uncoordinated and broke that they couldn't even raise an army and defend its borders. And the Founding Fathers looked at the Articles of Confederation like the dumpster fire it was, and were like, oh yeah, no, that sucks, let's not do that. And so they didn't. This gave rise to federalism within the country, meaning most people felt that the central government should be able to rein in the state governments if they got out of hand. This system of checks and balances carries over to almost all aspects of our government. The three branches keep each other in check this way too. Everything checks everything else so no one gets tyrannical. I'm looking at you, Mussolini! The main difference between the Articles of Confederation and the Constitution is the ability to make amendments. Having a living, breathing document as the foundation for a country works much better than a rigid and stiff list of guidelines. Anyway, that's about it. See ya.